Not sure if I'm live yet. Am I live? I'm coughing all you guys ears. Sorry, I just had a bong hit a little bit ago. So, ooh, it is pretty warm out here. Ooh. I did do these. Let me see if I can do some push-ups this morning. Let's start with the push-ups. But I'm feeling a little bit, I was like all motivated, and then when I got out here, it is really getting hotter than I expected. So you start to kind of like, I was talking to Richie, kind of like, in this heat, you just kind of like, you just move like so slow. Like you just like, it's hard to describe. It's so hot in Vegas, so. No, Gloria really doesn't like when that's open. She gets upset because it brings all this hot air in there when she's resting. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try to do 20 push-ups, but this is day 10, no alcohol. Not sure how many days no sugar. I think it's like day 6 or something like that. For sure. I want to say somewhere around there. All right. Let's see if I can do 20. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do feel my strength starting to come back. I don't think I'll be able to do those, and then it's better than it's felt in the past couple days. Okay, now we do some nunchucks, but it is sure hot out here. So I definitely am in ketosis, so I'm definitely feeling that. So I like...
You look stronger.
Yeah, I'm feeling stronger. We woke up, so we went to sleep at some point early, and then we woke up, I want to say around like midnight or something, and I think we were watching Big Brother live, because they do the live feeds, and they stayed up like all night because they did the wall comp, so they were up to like 4 a.m. So then we stayed up, and then I think I've been up. Richard, I think, went back to sleep, but yeah, I just went up. So I did like Annette's blankets. I'm washing those right now. I have her other set on there, and I'm gonna do ours next. I was like cleaning the kitchen, doing all kinds of stuff this morning, so I've been up for a really long time. I haven't had breakfast yet though, so I'm definitely in ketosis because I woke up and I didn't need to like eat, I didn't feel like it, and then I was like, oh, let me go do the live first, so I haven't had my breakfast yet, so I'm feeling really good. So yeah, day 10, no alcohol, so ooh, isn't that right? Yeah, because it was not this Tuesday we just had, but the Tuesday before that. It's the last day I drank. All right, here we go. When I was in New York, and I go back in 13 days. 13 days. And yesterday, 12, actually 14. That was wrong. Richard wrote it wrong. Gosh, I'm like tripping on these rocks. This is not gonna last long with these shoes out here for some reason. Where I'm standing. Twist my ankle again. Always some. There's Rebecca. What the angle you guys are at? I need to turn you guys to different. Because where that's pointed is not good for me. There we go, like this. And it's too many bad rocks over there. Okay, I need to go right here. A little better. Alright, I just do a little nunchucks. I'm just trying to get in a little shape before I go back to New York. I'll get out of shape again. Alright, it is what it is. I don't mind right now. It's kind of fun. It's something different. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, I'm at little humming birds. Okay, I'm only going to do a couple. It's kind of hot out here. I'm trying to sit out here a little bit, though, but it is hot today. Excuse me. I'm not coordinated today for some reason. It's just too hot. I'm getting tired. It's It's really hot out here. I thought it was going to be cooler. It was earlier, but then it took too long to get the blog going. The computer was like not working right. So, I think that's going to be it today, you guys. Let me get, I don't know if I can even last out here. We might have mosey inside. But let me see if I can put up my umbrella, if that'll help. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it's nice sitting out here, but it just gets getting hot. It's difficult in Vegas during summer because you just get stuck inside. You don't want to be outside because it's just too dang hot. This is the time of year that we don't want to be outside. It's summer. We're like places like when it's cold. Vegas, it gets a little cold like in January and February, but sometimes can snow up here, but not much. You know, not like cold like other places. But Vegas during summer is when we have extreme weather. Yeah, where you literally have to, they advise you to stay indoors. Too hot. Move your guys' camera. You gotta be in the shade, I think. Don't overheat. Bring it over here. Where's is he coming? Because you gotta go over here, otherwise bring it down a little bit. Get too hot. The fun will get too hot. Okay. Oh, let me get my fanny pack. This is funny. So, I think it was Ava or someone had spread some rumor that I had like carrying weird stuff in my fanny pack. What I always had in my bag is my phone. That's why I used to always, because when you listen to music, so I'll show you guys what I would put in my bags, but like that, my brush. My brush is what I was looking for right now. But what I would put in like a bag like this is, right now is a brush and the phone, and that's it, and then the headphone things. That's what I always had the bag for. But back then, I had to wear it around my waist because I didn't have cordless earphones, whatever you call them, earbuds. I had the one with the wire. So I had the phone in the fanny pack and it was attached to the wire to my ears. When you guys first started watching us, I didn't have the cordless ones. So yeah, so that's why I used to wear around those fanny packs. For those who were always wondering what the fanny packs were about. It was because I used to listen to music and I would have to bring the phone because it was connected to my ears, you know. Now I bring the phone if I'm, outside, but if I'm walking around the house, I don't have to bring my phone because it can go that far, with the Bluetooth. But those ones were wire, so it was the phone was in my fanny pack, and then it was going up to my ear, and so I put it under my shirt, so I didn't have all these wires. Yeah, so it's funny. Now I have these great earbuds. I love them. They're even better in New York because here it's a little bit of an issue because to connect to all the different devices because we're kind of all like logged into the same things. It's a mess around here because we share all of our stuff. All right, sorry, that was a pretty lame workout today, but I am feeling really good in the sense of I thought I was not going to be able to do those push-ups because it's really hot out here, and I was like, oh, actually I'm starting to feel my strength coming back because it is day 10. And I wish I knew how many days it was on the I'm sorry, it's not I think it's unladylike, just sit that way. Trying to be more not so unladylike. I don't know what day it was that I went shopping. I need to figure it out because it's driving me nuts. I think it's I feel like it's day 6 of no sugar because I'm feeling really good today. And I woke up, like I said, basically last night because I went to bed at some point, probably right after the blog. Time we ended the blog, probably pretty soon after that. And then, like I said, we woke up around I think midnight or 1 a.m. somewhere around there, and we watched Big Brother, and they were just finishing their they did the wall comp, and then they got the new HOH. And they were up till like 4 a.m. and I was just laughing because it was so obvious, like the guy wanted the girls to leave the room. But he wasn't going to tell anyone to leave. But they didn't want to leave because they're trying to make sure they don't get put up on the block. So they think, oh, if we just, hover around this guy, he won't want to nominate us. But it was like ridiculous. It was a poor guy who was like up till 4 a.m. wanting to go to bed, but none of these ladies would leave his room. There was like 4 women in there and they just wouldn't leave. And they was like talking and talking and he's like yawning. Finally he's like, I think it's like almost 4 a.m. And he finally had to ask him to leave. So, hey, oh, I like your shirt. Rich has Beastie Boys. It's such a shame I only had that shirt in medium, which Richard can wear medium, but he's more large and sometimes XL depending on the cuts because his arms are broad and stuff. So medium is a smidge snug, but he can get in medium when he gets fit. But they had this great Beastie Boys, that yellow one. That was, I don't remember what trip that was. Gosh, they're all blending together. I feel like it was the November trip, maybe. I got him that shirt, but it was they only had it in the medium. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It is crazy. My trips are starting to blend together because my phone gives me all these memories about him. And I'm just like, whoa, oh, wow, I forgot about that. Like, I'm starting to like, oh, yeah, sometimes I forgot about even, like, certain hotels I stayed at. I was like, oh, yeah. Today I just remembered. I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that hotel. That was a good hotel. Like, it was like, all these things are coming back to me. Like, that was from the same trip I bought the Beastie Boys shirt. But I always try to get fun little things. I could just get, like, nice stuff, like, in the sense of, like, go to, like, the Macy's and buy, like, really nice, like, Ralph Lauren or something because Richard likes that. But I kind of like to get things that are kind of like unique to New York in some way or another. But then I end up like everything saying like New York or whatever. But I feel like the Beastie Boys, that was, But I don't know, one of these times I might just go and get some like nice things. Because when you go to the Macy's in like the one on like on 34th, it's on 34th, right? It's on 34th. That one just has such nicer things when you go in there than like the Macy's here when we go. So the couple times that we bought stuff there, it was some of the nicest stuff we ever got. And I wish we had some of those things still, like, got lost after leaving New York. But I had like these really cool, I had these really cool leopard boots. I loved these one leopard boots. I wore them for about 6 months in New York though. So I probably would have worn out that style. And then I had like this leopard bra that I got. I think it was like Michael Kors or something like that. And I think the shoes were like Guess or something. They weren't like super expensive stuff, but like kind of brands. And Richard got this wonderful jacket. It was a Ralph Lauren polo jacket. And oh man, everyone was like, people would like walk up to him and say, can I have your jacket? And I'm like, is that what people do? I mean, it was the weirdest thing. And he'd be like, no. Oh, okay, you just want to get it. I really like it. Yeah, but so do I. I just got it. It was just like weird. People will do that in New York. It's strange. People just assume maybe someone will give it to them because sometimes people will. So you get asked weird questions in New York like that. Like, can I have your shoes? Well, I'm kind of wearing them. Well, just in case. Well, if I had another pair, I'd give them to you, but you can't have the ones off my feet, unfortunately. Can't make it back to my hotel very easily. I mean, you get asked things like that, and some people will give them, I'll try and give people money. So give them the shoes off my feet. I'm not that nice. My feet hurt too much, sorry. I don't think I could make it back. Oh, God. I can't walk barefoot at all. Oh, dear. I barely walk in the shower barefoot. I have bad feet. So, give me something to put on my feet and we can maybe trade, but I ain't walking barefoot back to my hotel, that's for darn sure. My feet are like destroyed. It's amazing I can walk as much as I can with the level of, like my feet hurt a lot, but somehow if I just keep going it works, and I have to lift them. I can't be on flat shoes. Everyone keeps recommending like flat shoes, like those Ugg boots. I had to return those. I can't do flat. It don't work for me. So I have to be like up. That's why I'm always in heels, even my sandals are heels. Even I went to a foot doctor and he said, probably elevate your feet would be the best for your situation. Because my feet are there's so many different things going on too, because I've got all these different foot injuries, and then I just have like things like bunions and things. They're a mess. But when I go to New York, sometimes I just don't even know how. I just keep trekking because I love walking there. My feet sometimes kind of get sore, but I don't know, when I'm there, I never really kind of like notice. And I get home and oh God, I never have like, Richard, please. Because Richard rubs my feet most nights, and that helps a lot. But I'm there, I go like 2 weeks without that. I'd actually kind of get a little bit, the clouds came out. Isn't that nice? I'm glad I stayed out. Oh, that's much more pleasant. Man, the clouds do make a difference in Las Vegas. I love the sun. I don't want to ever bash the sun, but sometimes in Vegas, that sun is just so intense this time of year. I need a tan though. Oh gosh, I've been so bad. I should today. I'm not going to do it on live or anything like that. But look at the clouds coming on. But I really need a tan because I kind of like to get like a tan line. Girls think that tan lines are bad. No. Tan lines are great if they're nice looking tan lines, in the sense of like it's a cute swimsuit tan line. Not if it's like shorts and shirts or something, like the farmer tan and they get socks on or something. I've had those ones where you're wearing your socks and you got like shorts and like a shirt, and then you have like those kind of tans. Those are not necessarily the cutest, but like a bikini tan line is very cute. You know, you don't need to go full nude or whatever, like go to a tanning bed. So I like the tan lines where it shows your bikini. You know, so it looks like you still have a bikini on even if you don't have one on. You know, that's a good look. But the tan lines that are just like everywhere. Oh gosh, when me and Richard didn't have a car, we get the worst tan lines, and there was nothing we could do about it because I would try to wear shorter shorts to kind of, you know, I wouldn't wear these short, you know, in public. This was, you know, it was a little more modest back then, but I still probably wouldn't wear these ones in public. I don't wear these in New York. I did wear those little polka dot ones though. That was like terrible too. I don't know why I was wearing it. I just didn't care or whatever. But anyways, back then my shorts were a little bit longer, but I would try to wear them as short as I was comfortable wearing, and try to wear the smallest of a tank top I was comfortable wearing, but I wasn't as comfortable with my body back then. And try to, you know, not wear socks and things like that, wear like sandals. But even your sandals get all these lines. So we walked everywhere. So we would wear those Keen sandals, but we had like the worst tan lines, like because it was just whatever we were wearing. I mean, so because you're not gonna walk around in a bikini. You could, but I wouldn't. So we had the worst tan lines, but we were so tan that so we would try to go swimming and try to fix it, but it was like our shorts tans and our whatever shirt we had on, and then whatever shoes we were wearing. Those tan lines were so thick that then I would try to go get like a bikini one, and it would, you know, maybe show up a little bit, but it would be like the most distinct ones were those shorts and stuff. It was funny. Because Vegas, if you walk outside often, like Annette and Gloria, they're always going outside. Like they go to the pool and stuff all the time. You get so dark if you're someone that tans, you know. I mean, if you just burn, and maybe that doesn't happen for you. But if you're someone that tans, you get so dark here because the sun is so intense. So if you're, you know, out in it a lot. So like, I remember the first year we were here with Gloria, when she first started going back to the pool, and then she had these glasses. She had the worst, oh my goodness, hello, how are you? That's the cutest hummingbird ever. It's not Jeremiah either. That's, you know, that one's much smaller. Oh, you're like a baby hummingbird. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could see, but there's no way I can show you. You'll fly off. She had those raccoon eyes so bad because she was wearing these really big glasses and she was going every day, just laying out every day for like, she was laying out for a long time. I was starting to be like, I don't know if that's good to be laying out that long in the sun, but some things we can't advise her. She wants to do what she wants to do, and you know, it's her choice. We try to make suggestions on certain things, like don't be in the sun too much. You know, that can be bad for your skin at a certain level. I'll do what I want to do. So, but anyways, everything is going really good here. Oh, today's Friday, so the ladies are gonna go dancing. Richard ordered Annette a new pair of black pants, and we just gotten Gloria a new outfit. I don't know what she's gonna wear tonight though. We want to pretty soon take them in person somewhere, but it's just, you know, with us, with it being hot and with, you know, our schedules and just with everything, it's so much easier to order online. But the problem with online, half the time you have to return the stuff because it doesn't work out. But we love ordering from Amazon because you can get it like next day, sometimes even overnight. And then if it doesn't work, you return it, but then you gotta return it. But we still have some things we need to return to Kohl's. It's fine when you gotta go to Whole Foods, that's convenient, but when you gotta go to Kohl's, it's a little less convenient for us. But I have some items I need to return to Kohl's. I want to get all this stuff done before I go to New York. Because probably it needs to, because it might even be like past return, but also just I want to have everything taken care of, you know, like that kind of stuff. So I'm doing the blankets today. Started with the nets, and she has a total replacement blanket and replacement sheets. So I'm just washing the yellow one, excuse me, and then she has like a new everything on her bed. And I'll probably switch it one more time before I leave, back to her yellow one, because she likes the yellow one best. But I think I'm going to leave this one on, let this one get dirty, then right before I leave, put on her yellow one, so then it'll be fresh right before I leave. So I'm working on that, and then I'm going to do ours. But it's a project for each one, because first it's like an hour and a half in the washer, and then you got to let them. I leave them out now. I don't put them outside anymore because the neighbors never like that. But our dryer in no way will dry the blankets. They do nothing. I've tried. It just like doesn't flop around and do nothing. So it's not a great dryer. So I actually just stretch them out and put them over the cars, and they dry in the garage like that. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in the garage, especially if I'm running the dryer. So that actually has worked out pretty good. But so, but I have to dry them out, and then put in the next set. So it's like, it takes longer than the regular laundry. Doing the blankets, a little more pain in the neck. But I was happy I got it, because Annette doesn't really like if you start cleaning her room, even though she wants her room clean. So it's kind of this little, you kind of have to do it when she's not around. And she's been around a lot today, like, because she was really talkative and walkative, I like to say, the other day when she had some caffeine. But she hasn't had caffeine, I think, in the last like two or 3 days, at least 2 days. And so now she's kind of more chill, so she's not like, you know, walking everywhere. Oh, this guy is just chilling, a little cute hummingbird. He's just saying hi. But so it's harder to get something done, like cleaning her room, because she'll go on like a 5-minute walk and then come back. So luckily, like, I didn't know, I thought she was gonna be gone a little longer this morning, and because normally she's gone a little longer in the morning. So I thought I had a little more time, but I try to really rush when I'm doing something. So I'm taking off all the old blankets and sheets, and the hardest thing is getting the pillowcases off. Pain in the ass, pillowcases, such a pain in the ass. So I'm thinking I have a little more time, but I still always try to rush. Like, I try to rush when I'm doing Annette's room, because when she comes back, she's like wants on her bed, and she, you know, kind of gets a little bit like, right in my room, even though she's happy what you're doing. It's this weird thing, because like, it's kind of this thing, because she wants to be independent, wants to be able to do it herself, so it frustrates her that someone is having to do it, but then she appreciates that you're doing it at the same time. And so it's kind of like, she gets caught in a little bit of a, in her own mind, because she'll thank you and be like, oh, thank you, and be very happy, but then she prefers if it's like done than her having to see you actually do it. Does that make sense? So when she comes in and it's done, she goes, oh, she'll be so happy. But when she sees you doing it, it makes her, I think, feel a little bit like she's helpless or something, you know what I mean? So she doesn't like that feeling. But so I was trying to rush, and then I thought, oh, I have plenty of time, but I really did rush. Like, I grabbed the other sheets and blankets, put on all the fresh ones. I like just got it done. Was in the garage. And I go back there, she's back in her bed. And I was like, oh, no way, because she was only gone like 10 minutes. So I was like, oh, good thing I did that fast. because she's all happy because it's made, but it's always weird when I almost feel like I'm caught when she comes in, because she does give me this feeling like, what do you do in my room kind of thing, but then she'll see what you're doing and she's happy that you're doing that. But I think that's her space, so the less we have to be in there, the less she has to see us in there, but she also likes it when it's clean, so it's kind of this little thing where I kind of sneak in there when she's gone and try to vacuum or tidy up the room. And I will put away the laundry when she's in there, but it's always this awkward thing where, because I won't ever vacuum I won't vacuum like if she's in her room, and I won't tidy up her room if she's in her room, but I will put away her laundry if she's in her room, and I'll get her laundry if she's in her room. But it's always this awkward thing where like the entire time I feel like she's like, would you hurry up, as I'm trying to like hang up the stuff, and I'm literally trying to like hang it as fast as I can, and I'm like trying to get out of her room, and I can just feel her being like, where'd you get, because that's her space. She really doesn't like people in her room. For a second, but then you get it. I mean, you come in and say hi, and you mosey on out, and then she closes the door. And usually, like, as soon as I put the laundry away, she closes her door. She's like, that's her little space. And so we try to respect that. But she also appreciates you cleaning her space. So it's kind of this little thing. But she's so sweet. She's doing so good right now. I mean, I know we caved in a little bit with the caffeine, but I feel like it's keeping her a little bit more active, because the problem was she was just sleeping and she was really melancholy, but she wasn't hearing the voices or talking to her voices, but it felt like, I don't know, it kind of felt like she wasn't herself anymore. So it's like, you know what, let her have a little caffeine once in a while, and she has a little fun for a day or two, and then she sleeps, but at least like she gets more active, she walks a lot and stuff, because she was sleeping so much. So it felt like she was a little bit almost depressed, without a little caffeine. So, and she looks forward to it, and it's not something she wants all the time. We'll ask her, what do you feel like it today? Because Richard takes them somewhere. He takes them either to the Starbucks or this Wicked Donuts or something, and he'll get Annette, I think, likes latte, and Gloria likes mocha, and he'll get them each one. And like Annette picks out, whatever she wants. But I think she always picks a latte. We tried to see if she wanted the mocha. We're like, you really like latte? Because that's just, just espresso and milk. But she likes that, which is better than putting the chocolate in there. But it's just interesting that she likes those, because they're not that good. But anyways, she looks forward to it, but then it's not something she wants all the time. So I think I was talking about this yesterday, she's very conscientious that it is doing something to her. I think that when you drink coffee every day and a million times a day, you totally forget what it does to you. You don't even realize it's a drug. No, it's a drug. Caffeine is a drug. You're taking a drug, that's why you're addicted to it, because it's a drug. I like it, just like sugar. But I try not to get on a high horse about those things anymore, that I mess up all the time here and going to New York. So I go to New York in 13 days. I have all my reservations set. I have 5 days paid for, and then the rest of the trip I'll pay as I go. And I'm switching hotels several times this trip, which is good. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous because it's all new hotels, which that's usually the case, but I'm switching more than I normally do. So it's more like, oh, I hope each one works out, you know what I mean? So I have a little anxiety about that, but I'm actually looking forward to checking out new hotels. I wish I could share it with you guys more. I will take photos, but the photos won't be seen till like after I leave, you know what I mean? It's like nothing I can post, probably even when I'm in New York. Maybe when I leave each place, but probably not, you know what I mean? Probably not till I'm home, and then, ends up in a memory thing or something. That's a bummer, but I will always still take the photos because I like to document those things. I like to document each place I stay at. I document what you guys don't get to see, unfortunately, due to people, not respecting people's privacy. Just because you're on social media doesn't mean you need to contact every place that someone's at because they're on social media. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, it's your fault for exposing where you were. Or it's your fault for contacting the place that I was staying at. You know what I mean? It's like I've known where people were at and didn't contact the place before, you know what I mean? It's just on any levels. You know, you find out people are hooked up places, you don't like blow up. It's just, I don't know. So it does upset me that I can't express my art the way I wanted to, but it is good in a privacy sense that I probably was exposing too much of my real life in the sense of like where I was staying and stuff, you know what I mean? That's probably very dangerous, and which I found out it was. But it's kind of a shame that it is, you know what I mean? That's more what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not doing that in the sense of for my own safety, but it's a shame that I have to worry about that, you know? Because for a long time I've been posting on social media, not on necessarily YouTube, but like often where we lived and stuff, like exactly where we lived, you know? And it was never an issue until this channel, but I guess we had more haters and more people that loved us than ever, so this is our biggest channel ever, so I guess that's gonna happen. And we are very thankful for this channel. I know there's been a lot of ups and downs, and we're trying to be respectful of all of YouTube's policies and you know, the community guidelines and things of just, because there's things that can get you demonetized, and then there's things that can just get you where like no one wants to circulate you because you're just being offensive. So like, yeah, you might still be getting money, but they're like, you're not gonna get circulated because no one really wants to see that offensive content. So we don't want to be like in this category of like, yeah, we haven't demonetized you, but you're just really like, you're not someone we'd ever want. So we're like, we needed to change our behavior because we were thinking like in some way that was going to be okay, like, or did we just were that way? I don't know. And now when we look back, we're like, oh my gosh, how could we think like our behavior would have been okay to like show on like the yelling at people and stuff? And we don't do that anymore. It's not that we're like faking it now. It's just like we stopped doing stuff like that. Like the channel grew us up. Like we're not like screaming at each other and then coming on here and being like, oh, you guys know, we just like the channel in a way like helped our family because there isn't any yelling occurring anymore in this house. Like no one yells at anybody. I think, you know, like once in a while me and Rich will snap at each other a little bit, like, but there's no yelling at it, and nothing with Gloria and Annette on any level. You know, me and Richard get snappy. We're just snappy. We're working on that, but never like yelling. We're just snappy at each other. But even that we're working on. We're trying to speak to each other better, you know. I guess we're all just growing up. I mean, we are a bunch of old farts here, acting like kids, acting like hoodlums. You know, I'm the youngest at 40. We got 40. Wasn't it now 52? Isn't it 51? 51. Richard's 57 and Gloria's 82. Yeah. Bunch of old farts here. And we were acting very childish, so thank you guys for helping us become a more healthy family force. We knew when we were writing that we were not healthy at the time. The goal was to become healthy. You don't want to be called the unhealthy family force, and you have no goal. Unhealthy family force is going to stay this way. We were hoping to improve. I mean, that was the whole thing. Actually, the channel first was the weight loss force, not for me. That's why it went south. People thought I was wanting to lose weight. No. I was way too thin. Richard needed to lose weight, and I needed to get off my eating disorder. But the weight loss was for him. So it got all confused because they saw me being like emaciated, and it called the weight loss force. So that's why we had to change it. So they were like, what? Okay, Eugenia Cooney. No, I was showing my recovery, which it was taking a second. But no, I was not trying to lose weight. Oh, no. I was trying to gain weight, but trying to do it by getting off my eating disorder, because my eating disorder had really flared up again. This was in 2022 and 2023. Real bad. And because we were living here, and we just kind of stopped caring, and both me and Richard kind of let ourselves go. And that's kind of when we restarted the channel, because he had really packed on weight in a really short time. And so he was like, let's do this, weight loss for us. And it was supposed to be like weight loss for CEOs was originally like what he was calling it in New York, because he even was going to do it even before he had gained weight, talking about the weight he had already lost, because he had lost already like 150 pounds before we went to New York. So, and then we got too thin in New York, and then when we came home, Richard put like not all the weight back on, but a lot of the weight back on. And so he was saying, oh, let me show them how to do it again. And so that's kind of how the channel first started. And then he started showing my eating disorder, and at first that was allowed, but then that became something that wasn't allowed, so they started removing those videos. So we realized we need to shift, like something that they were used to allow that even now I don't talk about it very much, because it's not really something that's favorable to talk about. They don't like that. So we shifted, and then I was already cleaning the house and doing all these things, and helping Annette and trying to get. So then Richard just kind of started just documenting Annette getting better, but that's never what we thought would like be what took off, and is what took off, and that's. So a lot of people in the beginning kind of said it was like we were. We were using Annette, for views and stuff, and that was never the intention. And that was kind of sad that it was like, because we actually just got really excited when we thought, oh my gosh, look at, people want to see Annette. Like that gave us, it wasn't like we're like, oh, Annette, cha-ching, cash money. It wasn't like that. But then we thought Annette could have like a job. So then we got really excited. So then, like some people talk about one time when I yelled at her about like, this is your job, because we wanted her to have purpose. Like she was like feeling really excited about the channel, and then all of a sudden she got upset. I think it was one time when the cops got called, and we said, no, Annette, this is your job. Like you got to like be excited about this, because she was loving it. And then it just kept going downhill. So once we started to realize we're not going to force her to do this, but at first she loved it. At first Annette loved it, and we were so excited. I mean, she just loved it. She would look forward to the blogs in the morning, and we just thought, this is just the most wonderful way for Annette to interact with people, because she doesn't get to interact that much with people, you know what I mean? And we just were so excited, and people just took it so gross, and the way they acted made Annette not want to come on anymore. And it is really unfortunate the way it went, but ultimately I don't think Annette would have wanted to keep coming on forever. She probably would have got bored with it, so probably would have had to go this way, but it didn't have to go so abruptly in the way people took it. But you know what, it went this way. So now it's more probably about me and Richard than even Gloria and Annette, because pretty much because you guys made it that way, the haters, because every time we would bring Gloria and Annette in the picture, it was like we were trying to use them for views, was what you guys would say, and that we were abusing them or using them in some way, so it was just kind of unfortunate, because the whole time we knew we were taking care of them and that we've been doing this, and you guys are starting to kind of see a little bit more progress, because as we get a little bit more money, but you didn't know, like all along there was all this money, it was just getting rid of debt that Gloria was in. So it's like, it's not like all this time like we weren't doing things. Like I've been working the whole time. It's just like you couldn't see any progress, and you guys were like, oh, the walls or the window or this and that. It was like, yeah, those things are coming. Like, but first we're like trying to get the house out of foreclosure, or making sure they don't, get these liens off the house, or get the Porsche out of basically hock, because Gloria can't pay what she charged up the bill for the Porsche, and that's her Porsche, it's not mine, and that was $10,000. That was my first trip to New York back in 2023, was to get the Porsche out of the place that she racked up a $10,000 bill and couldn't afford it, and they were going to keep her car. They thought she had died, because they were like calling her, she wasn't returning the call or something, and so they were like, I racked up this bill, and or eventually you just get to keep it if the old lady had passed or something. That's what they were hoping. It was a real scam. Terrible. And the car's not even fixed. It's broken. Can't even drive it. So, but there was all these different things, and then it was $7,000 for the HOA, and it was the first. So the HOA was way behind, and then we got it caught up, and then we didn't know that there was one. So we got them both caught up, okay? And then we didn't know that there was two. So then for about a year or two that we were here, we were only paying one. But we had originally got two, but there's so many bills. There's a lot of bills here. it's weird for this little place. There's a lot of different bills, and then with all Gloria's different things. So you do lose track. And we're not used to that because we never paid our utilities and stuff. Like, we always lived in apartments where they pay for you, like, or hotels. So, like, there's a lot of different things, It's been, Richard hasn't had a house in a long time, and I've never had a house. So these are new, and we're like, oh, shoot, we forgot about the water, or something. Oh, shoot, we had to literally make lists of all the utilities. And then we also have these credit cards, that are due on different dates and things. All these things we're so behind, and so we're still getting caught up on the last thing we're getting caught up is that HOA, but we're on a payment plan with them. But that should be done, I think, in, I don't actually know. Forget how many months it was that we were on the payment plan for. What did I say? I can't remember. Richard keeps track of that stuff. I used to keep track of that kind of stuff, like before New York. But after New York, I was like, you just take over. Because so much crazy stuff happened with our accounts and stuff in New York with, like, we had so much fraud, and I was like, and he kept thinking, like, I was crazy about it, and there really was some fraud that came through, and it's like, see, I'm not crazy. But he wasn't the one managing the account, so he's like, I think you're just not keeping track. And I was like, no, I am. And so I was like, forget it, I'm done. So then, now we have, like, completely different accounts and stuff. We had Wells Fargo. I think they're a scam. Sorry if you like Wells Fargo. I had Wells Fargo for years, but they were terrible. Richard had them for years too. But they just allowed so many, not them particular, but they didn't have enough fraud protection or something. Chase is really good with their fraud protection. I mean, they're like always sending you texts. Wells was not good enough with that, I guess, because we had insane amount of fraud, and we had to cancel like 4 or 5 debit cards while we were there. So, and they take a second to get a new one, and they send them here because we didn't have like a solid address in there because we were changing hotels. So we would give Gloria's address as the the mailing address, and so they'd mail it to Gloria, and then Gloria would have to mail it to us in New York City when we were there. So it would take forever every time we would have to cancel a card too. And I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 times. It was primarily that one hotel that went out of business, the Stewart Hotel NYC. Delroy Ferguson. Delroy. Amazon packages take 5 days after they say they're delivered. So I knew they were a fraud. And then when they tried to charge me, that hotel, that's when they did me in. I knew they were fraudulent after that. I was like, I'm asking for this package for 5 days. I've told this story before. At this hotel that went out of business because I turned them into every single authority imaginable that would be overseeing hotel fraud, like visa fraud and stuff. So I've been asking for this Amazon packages. It says it's delivered, okay, which means it's delivered to the front desk at this hotel is what it says, right? Left it with the front desk. They'll literally write that. Now they take photos because people try and lie about the stuff. It's pre-photo time. This is, they would write a note saying where they left it. And it's like 2021. So I go every day after it arrives saying, is my package here? And Delroy said, no, it's not here yet. Well, first it's the other people, and then eventually I asked for Delroy, who's the GM, which really he's just the cleaning staff manager that they promoted to the GM because they really knew they were scamming everybody, and they knew he would be the fall guy. Everybody else bailed out. Literally, the GM had just gone to the people that owned the hotel. It was called Highgate. Anyways, I researched the whole thing. But said, oh, that's wrong when Amazon says that. It could take like up to 5 days. Up to 5 days for your package to get here. After Amazon says deliver. I said, that's not how Amazon works, Delroy. He said, oh yes, yeah, that's how it works. I said, no, that's not how Amazon works at all, Delroy. If they say the package was delivered to the front desk and they deliver to the front desk, it's not going to be delivered 5 days after they said it was delivered to the front desk. You know that you don't understand Amazon. I said, I understand Amazon. My husband buys more Amazon than probably anyone in the whole world. That is not how Amazon works. We literally used to buy Whole Foods every day from Amazon. This is not how Amazon works. When they say it's delivered, if you say your package of food is downstairs, your package of food is downstairs, you better go find it if you can't find it, because they left it somewhere, not coming 5 days later. I mean, out of your mind. So he tells me that. So he says 5 days, which is significant to 5 days, too. Because then every day I go ask for my package. Oh, no, not here. I told you maybe 5 days. Next day I come in. No. 5 days later, they bring the package to my door, my hotel room. Knock on the door. Oh, your package is here. 5 days exactly. I say, oh, great. Oh, great. It's here finally. You guys finally found it? Oh, no. Yeah. No, we didn't just finally find it. We've been holding it. So you owe us a $10 a day holding fee. $50. So you got to be out of your mind, right? You're out of your mind, right? Get Delroy Ferguson's ass up here right now. You're out of your mind, right? You know I've been asking for that package every single day for the last 5 days. Oh, no, there's no way in hell I'm paying you guys $50 for that package I've been asking for every day. No, get him up here. No. So, yeah. Anyways, things like that. But you're like, that's a little scam that they would pull on some tourists that, think $50. For one thing, a hotel should not have a holding fee for your package, really. I mean, if you're staying there. You know what I mean? Like if they had to hold it after you left, maybe, or before you got there. But I was there for those 5 days. So it's kind of a ridiculous assumption of why you're holding my package if I'm in the hotel anyways. Do you get what I'm saying? I've been here for 5 days, longer, but I've been here for the 5 days that I've been asking for the package. And you're saying you've been holding it. So why were you even holding it? Why did you give it to me day one? It makes no sense. So I'm just like, you guys are just like, so we would have all these additional fees of like carrying your bags upstairs. No, you didn't do that. We did it ourselves. Thank you very much. You guys tried to, and we said no. Or things like that we had bought things in their store downstairs. Like they're really expensive sparkling waters. There's no way in hell. We do drink sparkling water, but with no way in hell we're spending that much. We go right downstairs. There's a market that is literally 2 feet from this place, and it is about a third of the price of what you guys are charging. There's no way in hell we've ever bought anything from there. And then someone tried to say we got a bottle of wine, which we were not drinking on any level back then. We said, nope, that wasn't us. They're not gonna, we don't drink. There was like so many little things. And then they would double charge you when you checked in. So one time we got double charged $1,500 twice. And then we got double charged $611 twice. And then we got double charged another number, which I don't remember. It doesn't sit in my brain as much, but those two sure did. By the third time we were double charged checking in, because here was how they would double charge you. You go through bookings, and it says you're going to pay it through bookings. You're not going to pay at the property. The property doesn't need anything from you except for you to just check in, basically, right? They shouldn't even need, maybe they'll need a deposit or something like that, but that's it, you know what I mean? But what they would do is they would charge you what bookings had charged you. And they knew they were doing it wrong, because then they would say, oh, it'll be 7 to 10 business days, or 10 to 12, whatever random number they put out, till your bank returns it. But then they would hope that the person would forget, because I noticed, and I'd be on them. I'd be like, where's that thing? It says you guys are holding it. And they said, no, your bank. I said, no, it says you guys are holding it. And I realized they were hoping they hold it long enough that a tourist won't notice, and then they can bounce it back. And then, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's how those things work. They're like, you can, that's how, with, the hotels have this really loosey-goosey thing with the credit cards and with the debit cards, which it can be really scary if a hotel starts doing fraud, because they're allowed to basically leave your card open in a sense, and they can also make your card go into overdraft with their charges. Like, because you're not allowed to like leave a hotel and just have it, do you want me to go inside? Is it too hot?
No,
okay.
it's fine.
You're not allowed to like leave a hotel and like mess it up in some way or something, and then think like, oh, I don't have enough money in my account, so they won't be able to charge me. No, they can go over, like they're one of the things that are allowed to overdraft your account, because it's like they don't allow you to just like skip out on a hotel. So it's protection for the hotel, and they're also allowed to charge you incidentals while you're there, because if you go use the laundry, the soap downstairs they sell downstairs, the toothbrush and toothpaste, or the meals or the food, whatever the hotel provides downstairs. They have those little lobby shops. Some of them do room service. Some of them do things like I say, like the laundry services that cost money. There's different things, you can even tip maids on your cards, things like that. So the hotels can add some little loosey-goosey incidentals, they're called incidentals, and they're allowed to keep charging those for a certain amount of time too, I think, when you leave. So you have to be very careful even when you leave a hotel. And that's when I started to notice this hotel. Every time we left that hotel, all these weird little charges would come in, and I was like, what is this? And so then I'd call them back, and then there was no way you could ever get a hold of anyone. Their finance department was like an answering machine that you never returned your call, and it was just they put you in this loop of a system, and so I started going to the authorities. I turned to everyone, FBI, BBB, everybody, the DA in New York, the NYPD, everybody. I was telling everybody, this hotel, because they would also keep your deposits. Even if you hadn't done anything, and they wouldn't tell you they were keeping it. They just keep it. You know what I mean? And their deposits were $300, and so it was very significant to us. And some people, maybe they're so wealthy, didn't notice these things. I sure did. So I was like, oh hell to the no, is that gonna be okay in my book? Hey, you messed with the wrong person. And I know people are like, there's no way it was you. I was like, yeah, but I definitely barked a lot about this place, and it is out of business now. For fraud. And it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. And I'm telling you, I have never made so many phone calls to authorities. And so I get some of these wackos, but you guys are barking up the wrong tree. If it's a real thing, something happens. When you're calling us, when it's not real, what's going to happen? I mean, it's like clearly like everyone in Vegas at this point, as far as authorities, kind of know who we are. I mean, you guys have sent them so many times to our house. If we were an issue, I think they would do something about it. You know what I mean? It's just funny. So I took a shower this morning, so my hair's... I try to brush my hair when I shower to kind of get a bit some life, but it's very frustrating right now. I think I need a haircut. Can't decide if I want to get a haircut before after New York. Here's my thing with haircuts, and it's really silly, because your hair will always look like a little better, well, probably a lot better when you get a cut, but then it's always a little shorter. And so girls are like, when you want your hair long, you're like, sometimes just kind of want it long for a second, but then it starts getting straggly and icky, and then you're like, that's not even pretty. It's just ugly. But my hair has been getting long, but it's been getting shiny, and I'm frustrated because I really wanted to bounce back right away, of get healthy right away, but I'm like, do I? I mean, you've only been healthy for 10 days off the alcohol, and then I think it's been 6 days of the no sugar, whatever day that was. I gotta look it up so I know, but it's been several days because I'm in ketosis now. I can feel it. My energy is coming back. You guys can probably hear it in my voice even. This is when you guys think I'm on something, but that's just me having energy again. When you hear me when I'm not in ketosis, I kind of a little bit have a depressed voice, because I am a little bit of a depressed person, ever since my mom and brother died. I used to be a super happy person, but once they died, I don't know, life wasn't as cheerful to me. I mean, I have my moments that I'm really happy, but overall I have a more somber disposition than I did, prior to my mom and brother dying. Oh, hi, buddy. And then, each crazy event that happens in life kind of makes you a little bit less when you're young, please stay young as long as you can, because stay naive and stay innocent, because ignorance is bliss for real. The more you know, the less you want to know sometimes. I'm just oh, I wish I didn't know that. It's easier to enjoy life not knowing about some of the horrible things in life. Once you find out about some of the horrible things, it's hard to enjoy things when you find out people are suffering, you know what I mean? And when you hear people are starving and there's countries where they're at war, it's just not good, it's harder to enjoy your meal, you know what I mean? And when you're young, you don't know of these things, and same with before you've had loss, life can seem very oh, and then you have loss and you're whoa, life changes a lot. And I mean, I, in a weird way, appreciate that I had loss young. I mean, I wish it didn't happen in the sense, if I could choose, but since it did, I appreciate that it kind of made me appreciate life. And even though I was like reckless with it, I was trying to like not just like do nothing. Like I wanted to like do like, even if I like went out, like even if I had not survived, it was like I'm gonna go out like being adventurous, not just like sitting here dying at an office kind of thing. It was kind of where my first kind of thought process was like I didn't really know how long I was gonna make it because I was not being healthy, and I was I was not gonna make it long if I continued on the pattern of health I was going, because I could see my health deteriorating, especially with the alcohol I was drinking. This I'm talking like 2012. Then, but I knew like I didn't want my life to just be where I just kind of like just slowly kind of just got more and more depressed and kind of, you know, like did a regular job but slowly just kind of like drifted away. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go do something different. So like going to Panama was kind of like getting myself out of like depression. Like, let's just go live is kind of like what me and Richard were thinking. Like, even if it doesn't work out, let's, you know, it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved at all kind of thing. It was just like, let's just do it. So I mean, like when I think about it now, there's no way I would have like I don't even know how I had the guts to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, it's like when I think of my state of mind at that time, to have the guts to just like move to another country, and we and Richard been together for about 6 months, but you know, not that long, and we're like, let's move. And part of that was already the planning. So like we decided before the 6 months. So I think we planned for like 2 months. I think we've been together like 4 months, and we decided to move to a country together. But it was, you know, the country his mother was from, so it's not that crazy. And we were first gonna stay with his cousins, and we did for the first like week or two. Then we wanted to be in the city. They were out in like the suburbia, like out here, like Summerlin, but it was called. I want to say it was called Escondido, but I can't remember. No, that's not the right name. I don't remember what it was called. I'll think of it in a second. But it was the turning point in both of our lives of like, that's why like when people go like, oh, just kind of go back to the mainstream, it's kind of hard for us because kind of like that moment was kind of our transition from mainstream like kind of jobs and stuff. Like it was just like that night we decided we were going to Panama, I think we kind of realized our lives were not going to be normal in any sense anymore. You know what I mean? Because that's not what normal people do. They don't just, I mean, we both had like normal jobs. I was the office manager at a real estate office, and Richard was the office, he was the bar manager at, the restaurant manager, the restaurant and bar at this bar called Brasserie in Portland, like in the Pearl District. And they were fine jobs. We could have probably, you know, just lasted forever, like on those incomes, just kind of like doing our thing and whatever. But no, we just decided we wanted to kind of just, I don't know, go do something different than everybody else was doing, you know? Because we realized we'd both lost a parent and a brother, and it was like, I don't know, we just didn't really fit in at work anymore, you know? You try to, but it was awkward. Well, I don't know, you're not really as relatable to people anymore, and you know, I wasn't really planning on getting married and having kids. I really wasn't. So it was like, and I still didn't do the kid part, but I wasn't planning on getting married. So it just kind of was like, I don't know, it was always weird in the office. I didn't really like fit in after my mom and brother died. So I don't know, once we went to Panama, it was kind of like there's no going back kind of thing. Like, and we stayed there for a year. We were only going to stay for 2 months. The first trip, we were only going to stay for 2 months. We ended up staying 2 months the second trip. But we stayed a whole year. And it was the craziest but best year of our life. And the next best year was living in Manhattan. But we wouldn't want to do either of those years again. I mean, it's woof. The amount of stuff we went through. I mean, that's why me and Richard could, and then the cave is the other big one. But that was for 3.5 months. So, but these things that we've been through, like, you can't even describe to anyone. Like, we describe a little bit, we don't even go into much detail of, like, just the level of, I don't know, I can't even, New York for us was the hardest thing we've ever done. Just because the amount we had to move. We sometimes were moving like every other day, and hotels, and so part of that time you might not even have a room like this, so we're outside in the cold with all of our bags just sitting outside, like, and it'd be like every day this would happen where you check in maybe at 3 and then you have to leave by 11 or 12 and then you can't check in the next place till like 3, and so, and it was often during the cold. It feels like it's often cold in New York, and we're just sitting out there, and we're just always sitting there like on the corners in New York with all of our bags, waiting to check into another hotel, but it was a lot of work to just constantly be packing up and, moving our stuff. And we had more stuff than most people would have at a hotel because we were living there, but we still tried to keep it as minimal as possible because we tried to take like the subway. Early on, we would always Uber, and then that just became too expensive. It was like, we're not going to waste money on Ubers. So we had to minimize to where we could travel on a subway with the stuff we had. But originally we had like a grill, and we had like all these big suitcases. So then it got down to like 2 carry-on suitcases, 2 backpacks, like always 2 of those like, those reusable bags from the grocery store. We had these really heavy duty like Whole Foods ones. They were like the ones that had like the lining, so they like heavy duty, so you could like pile a bunch of stuff in them. We usually put like all of our food in there, and then we'd have like our tripods, and I think Richard even at some point still had his camera stuff. We ended up selling all his camera stuff in New York, but and we're just lugging all this stuff around always. Oh, and Richard's guitar. Yeah, so it was 2 carry-on suitcases, 2 backpacks, like 4 of those, because we each would have 2 of those bags, tripods, cameras, guitar. Just trekking around New York City on the subway. So we would be exhausted, like, by the time we would get to a hotel, because just even taking the subway. And sometimes, like when it got really expensive during the holidays right before New Year's, and then the Omicron hit, because we were there during the pandemic, we had to go all the way to the Bronx. So we had to ride 2 hours on the subway with all this stuff, and it's packed like sardines in there. And we're exhausted, and we're hungry. We don't even really have any. We had to sell our GoPro to even get a room that night, because we were spending so much money on hotels that, like, if I didn't work like several times a day, we like couldn't live, because it was the hotels got so expensive during and like sometimes they'd be like $400 or $500 a night, and then like a $400 deposit. It's like $800 every night, $800 to $900 every night, and it was just insane. So sometimes I couldn't keep up with that pace, and so like a couple times we went to the Bronx. We went to the Bronx twice, and we went to Brooklyn twice, until the prices came back down. Because then the Omicron hit, and like the prices came back down. But when the prices go up for the hotel tickets, it's insane. So we go all the way to the Bronx, and then some black girl thought, that I'm like white privilege, and you little white little princess, because I was so tired, and I'm packed in like and I'm carrying all this stuff, and we've been like hours, we've been traveling now since we've left our hotel, because by the time we've left our hotel, it was probably about 3 hours now. We've been trying to get to the next hotel, and she comes in, and I try to take her seat because she's getting up, but I guess, yeah, I'll go ahead. I guess she's gotten up slower It's Friday. Yay. Friday. You're dancing. Woo. All right. All right, everybody. I'm coming. Oh, no. So, what I was saying is, so often, I always feel I fit in great with the black community, but often I don't think they think I fit in with them because they think, I'm this rich white girl, but I've never been rich. And so I'm always kind of laughing to myself when someone thinks I've...
No more race topics.
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not saying... Oh, I wasn't saying it in a negative way. No, I wasn't saying it in a negative way. I was saying it's funny just because...
Okay, no more.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, anywho.
Well,
But yeah, so...
how was it out there? Was it hot enough?
It was pretty hot, but it was pretty nice because it's a cloud cover. That makes it nice, the cloud, but it was getting hot. I also have my umbrella, so that helped, yeah. But, so 13 days till New York, and that's kind of crazy. So I leave on Thursday the 4th, and I come back on the 16th. I have both my plane tickets, so that's good. I got another dress. I think I have another dress coming, some shoes. I'm excited today. And I'm going to start packing pretty soon. My clothes, probably, the ones that I'm not going to be wearing here that are just for New York, I'll probably start putting those in my suitcase pretty soon. I have most of my toilet shoes already packed. Because I actually leave some of them already packed. I have like all these things now that since I've been going so often, like that are already small, and I'm like, I'll just keep those in there. Like I have these small deodorants and these like small lotions, and then I have like this small little, which got like the shampoo, conditioner, and all that. And those things, if I don't end up using them, finishing them in New York, I'm like now just like had them. So it's actually been pretty cool because some of those things have lasted much longer than I expected, like some of these little travel things. Because I only use them when I'm in New York, but I was like, this actually worked out pretty good, I'm not going to spend $11.99 on any travel thing. That was ridiculous. I'm in my own. I just buy the little thing. I already had one of those. I don't need to buy their shampoos and conditioners. That was ridiculous. That was at Albertsons trying to charge $11.99 for a travel size shampoo and conditioner. Get out of here. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I have, and then I have like all my like beauty products that I like to use. Like I use little like, face cream things. But I actually right now have like, since I've been going to New York so much, I actually have like redundant ones. Because like Richard uses some of the stuff. So I actually was able to just like leave all that stuff. So it's actually kind of cool. So I actually kind of like still have my bag packed almost like from last trip. I guess it was only like a week ago, a little over a week ago. So, but it is working out where I think like I said, the more often I go, it's easier than spreading it further apart. And I'm not going to be going forever, but it'd be easier to go, August, wait, when did I go? Did I just go August? Yeah, August, September, November, January. Then, yeah, that's true. Wow, I just got back. Man. Wow, I just got back in August. Crazy. Whirlwind. But I'm actually looking forward to this trip. I am a little nervous about the sobriety stuff. But I've really been thinking a lot about it. Trying not to overthink about it, but think about like how I'm going to handle certain situations kind of thing. Like, what am I going to do? Think it through, like, should I make this decision or not? With the choosing to drink or not kind of decisions. So that's where I'm struggling with that a little bit right now. Because here I don't struggle. Here I'm not struggling. I'm not even struggling with the diet. I'm actually like amazingly like back on track with the diet, which I'm actually really happy with myself, because in the past I struggled a little more with wanting to still have sugar, but I only did that one day, which was, I gotta look what day it was. I think it was like 6 days ago, because I'm feeling really in ketosis today. Like I'm feeling my energy come back. I woke up like and like I said, like last night I haven't gone back to bed because like Richard took another nap, but I was like, I'm not tired. And I wasn't like wanting to eat either because sometimes what I'll do when I'm